Hello, my lovely friends. Welcome to the vlog. Today is April 1st. Technically, I guess April Fool's Day if you celebrate. Me, I do not. I try to avoid looking at anything on the internet today because usually it's not true. They do it as a joke and all that, but it's amazing how many people forget it's April Fool's and then they believe it, and then you have to tell them, no, that's an April Fool's post. So to avoid me believing anything that isn't true, I avoid it completely. Today, though, is a gloomy day. I'm tired. I've been tired for the last couple days. I think it's just, I have so much going on, a lot to do. Still trying to get all my things, in order. It's just, it's been a little chaotic, so I'm feeling it. Today I wanted to do something a little creative. I've never done something like this before, so hopefully it turns out. But, I see people making miniatures, and I've been going to the miniature shows, and I got another one coming up that I'm going to be going to. But I look at the stuff and I think, man, I feel like I could make some of that stuff if I really took the time and tried. So in the spirit of Easter, I decided I wanted to try to make an Easter basket. And I've seen some pictures and other people making them, so I'm going to try. I already have most of the materials. I just need to get some green paper to make the green grass for the bottom of the basket. And other than that, though, I think I have the rest. So I'm going to go into Hobby Lobby, take a look at what they got, and then go home and we'll get started. It's not even the summer yet. We're just starting April, and just like Hobby Lobby fashion, they already got their 4th of July stuff. But I do love how patriotic they are. I love celebrating 4th of July. So it'll be exciting to look at all the things once they have it all put out. But like, these are cute. These little flags. I like those. But for now, let's get through spring. I don't want to rush the heat either. Now I have a tendency of getting distracted. I should be here for paper, but I'm going to make my rounds first. I would have no use for these, but I think these are actually so cute. Little cherries. That's darling. We got lemons. Little daisies. Summer signs. I saw a woman walking out with these. I always feel like these are super popular once they go on sale. Now, if you're having a party coming up, this is awesome. So they have every color, like plate seating, placemats, like they have the entire rainbow. That is so helpful if you are trying to plan like a certain theme for a party or whatever, and you need like a certain color of something. You should come here. And then on the other side, if you really need food storage, clearly they got you covered. And everything as of right now is 40% off for their spring shop items, which I'm assuming this is part of it. I love these. These would be cute around a garden. Just randomly placed, like a little line of them. I love that. course, it's not both sides. That's not both sides either. I'm guessing I'm gonna have to do this. Yeah. Maybe green. I don't know if I should do this green or this green. Maybe a lighter green. So I've returned from Hobby Lobby, and this is all I pretty much got. Not very exciting, but I needed green paper for the grass of my Easter basket. When it comes to supplies, by the way, when you want to do miniatures, this is kind of roughly what you'll need. Of course, there's other things that you can get down the road once you get more experienced, but I just wanted to share with you some of like the basics that you could get to start off. So of course I have Arthur's hair. I have a paper cutting mat. Got a nice thick one right here. So I would always suggest getting one of these, especially if you're going to be using little knives like this, which you should also have as one of your tools. And then this is kind of my little toolbox. I have little tools like this to create indentations. I have paint brushes to kind of add dimension into the figures. And when it comes to these, I have all different sizes. So I have big, small, and then I also have tweezers for when I want to pick up something really tiny. So those are my little supplies. I also have these. I kind of like to use these for blending, and maybe one day I'll show you what I mean by that. Or maybe while we're making our little Easter basket, I may need one of these. But I always have those on hand as well. When it comes to clay, I use Fimo. And I bought the pack on Amazon, so it came with all these colors. Let's see if I can get this open with one hand. Let's see. Oh, yes. Sorry. So these are the colors that the pack comes with. And a little goes a long way, especially because you're making miniatures. And then once you've opened them, I do put them in these little lunch bags. If there's a better way to store these once open, please let me know in the comments. But for now, this is kind of how I've been storing them, and it seems to work. I am going to use brown today, so I might as well leave that out. But Fimo is my favorite. Of course, there's other brands you can get, but I like this brand a lot. Okay, put that aside. When I'm working with my clay, I don't technically like to use my pad here, so I'll use this tray. I got this also at the art supply store. This is actually supposed to be like a painting tray, like a little painting palette, but I have now used it for my clay and it works just fine. If you want to do liquid stuff, so like if you're doing a miniature of liquid soup or whatnot, I have this guy here. I love this. It's like a finishing gel. So if you also want to do, let's say you're making a miniature of eggs in a frying pan and you want the yolk to be a little bit more of a liquid appearance, this would be a great thing to use. Now, obviously it's clear, so how do you add color to the liquid? That's where pastels come in. And so I got a small pack of pastels, and I use these strictly for my miniatures. So like, let's say if I wanted to create that yolk like I was talking about, I would take some of this. Actually, this is a perfect example. I would take some of this, put it in a Tupperware like this, and then kind of scrape using this some yellow into the liquid and mix it up. So kind of like what I did here for a previous project I did. And that's how I create the running yolk. And I usually use these kind of things to kind of put it in. It's a little tricky, but this is how you get that consistency. But today we're going to be doing an Easter basket. So I may not need all this stuff today. It's actually a little bit on the easier side. And then I made myself a piping hot beverage. If you ever watch Adam the Woo, he would always call his coffee his piping hot caffeinated beverage. But today I don't have a caffeinated beverage. Today I have a piping hot Mexican mocha. This mug is my favorite mug. I got it at the Grand Californian, and of course my favorite characters from Disney are on the mug. These are my ultimate favorite characters, Chip and Dale. So I decided to do a voiceover for this portion of the video just because I was doing laundry and the dryer was just outrageously loud. Anyways, this is the basket that I'm going to use for my Easter basket. I know it's not the cliche look, but it was the basket that I had. Of course, like down the road, if I find a cuter one, I can use that. But I thought this would do. Right now, I am cutting my green paper into very, very thin strips. And with that, this is how you'll create the grass. Obviously, I didn't have to use the entire sheet of paper, so whatever's left over, I just put away and I'll use it for another project. But I just cut probably like 7 strips at least for how tiny the basket is. After you cut the strips, what you want to do is you want to crinkle them all up into your hand to kind of create like a nest ball. And yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect, so just kind of put it all together and then go ahead and put it in the basket. And that's also how you can tell if you made enough grass. I, in this situation, felt like I could have made a couple more strips once it was in the basket. So that's kind of what happened once I put it in there. But just, you know, this is how you can judge where you're at and if you need to keep going or stop. Now it's the fun / hard part. So we're moving on to the bunny here. I'm choosing between, do I want milk chocolate, dark chocolate? I decided since I already had a piece of the lighter one, I went milk chocolate, but you know what? When it comes to actual real preference of chocolate, I'm always pro dark chocolate. Leave in the comments what you are. Are you milk or dark chocolate? I'd love to know. Anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and when you watch, I'm going to try to mold this chocolate bunny. I am planning on putting some gold foil on top of it, so the sculpture doesn't have to be perfect. Also, like, give yourself some grace. It really doesn't have to be the perfect bunny. You know, I'm not a sculpturist. I'm not a ceramics kind of gal. I'm more of a painter, so I can only do the best I can. Oh, and this is where I messed up. So I just told you guys earlier I didn't want to do the clay on my paper mat, and look what happened. That's why I don't like to do it, because it makes it dirty, and that clay can kind of, I don't want to say it stains, but it does leave like pigment, and I think I could wash it off. So I caught it just in time before I made it worse. And you can see the little spot there. But I'm going to transfer my mat to my palette tray. And then from there, I am going to start sculpting my bunny. And, it's trial and error. You'll see me test out the head size, the ear sizes, the body. It just takes time. So also this clay, just a heads up if you do buy it, it is hard to use in the beginning. Once you kind of use the warmth of your hands, to soften it, it gets a little easier. I just also noticed I had a bruise on my hand. Don't know where that's from. And also, if you want to know, Arthur is sitting right next to me in his little blanket. But yeah, so yeah, I'm just going to be molding this bunny, and we'll see how it turns out. And this is what I got so far. Very simple, but I will try to add a little bit of detail using this tool right here, probably using the smallest point. This is kind of where it starts to get hard for me. I am not a professional miniaturist. This is kind of like my first real one, so bear with me, guys. It's probably not going to be the most perfect bunny you'll see on the internet. And now that I finished my bunny, I'm going to set it aside in this little tin that I have. And then from there, we're going to start working on the Easter eggs, because before I put this bunny in the oven, I want to get the eggs done at least. And now they're ready for the oven, so I'm going to let them cook up just so they can get a little harder. So what I think I'm going to do now that these have finished baking, also sorry for the background noise, it's my dryer going, but I rather talk for this portion. I'm thinking of putting some gold foil around this bunny. That's kind of obviously what I had planned, and then I think we'll be done after that, and then we can assemble the basket. Now, one way to put gold foil on your chocolate bunny is using gold foil from a previous chocolate bunny. So I got this one from one of the chocolate bunnies that I had, and I ripped off a piece, and I'm going to use this piece to cover up my little chocolate bunny. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that on. So I apologize, guys, I've lost light because my light that I usually have is out for some reason. So I glued the foil on. From this point, you start to kind of mold it in to really try to get the details back in. If I made any mistakes, I'm going to go back with a little bit more of the foil, and I could go back and do it, but because this is just for me, I kind of don't care. I'm like, it's not that big of a deal. There it is. So there's the eyes. I just want to make sure I get some of these indentations so we're not losing what this originally looks like when we molded it. But it doesn't need to be perfect. I did want that in there because I wanted the legs to stand out. There we go. Like that. Yep, perfect. Okay. Oh, and the ears. There we go. So, not perfect, but there's my little chocolate foiled bunny. And then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little string to wrap a bow around his little neck, because that is usually how chocolate bunnies are presented. So let me go get one of those. So I just have like one of these kind of strings. Probably take you back to when he used to do what you call like friendship bracelets. I'm going to go ahead and try my best to tie this on around the neck. There we go. And I'm going to pause only because my fingers, dude. My fingers struggle. Or maybe I won't need to pause. Hold on. Come in. Ooh, tying a tiny bow is tricky. Okay. We'll see if this one worked. It did get a little unraveled, which is so annoying. There we go. There's 1, 2. Okay. But I want the hoops to be small. These are way too big. There we go. There we go. There. That will work. Now keep in mind, this is my first time making a miniature, so not gonna be perfect. And you guys shouldn't beat yourself up either if yours isn't perfect either. You gotta start somewhere, right? Okay, so maybe I'll just lay him like that. My little chocolate rabbit. And then we'll put the little eggs in that I made. I didn't know how many I really wanted. I don't like odd numbers, so maybe we'll do, or I don't like even numbers, but maybe we'll put some in the back to help prop them up. There we go. But then I don't like how it covers the grass so much, so yeah, maybe that's too many. We'll just do, oh wait, no, 4 is fine. Because then the bunny makes it 5. Okay. Okay, okay. There we go. And there it is. My little Easter basket. Of course, of course, you can actually make it look even more like an Easter basket with the baskets that actually loop over, especially if they have colored ones like pink and purple, blue. But I just wanted to do this kind because I already had this basket and I didn't know what to do with it, and I thought, hey, I'll just make it a little Easter basket. So there's my miniature, guys. I was losing light in my house, but here it is. My little Easter basket. Not perfect, of course. But you know, for a first time miniature, I wouldn't say this is terrible. So hopefully this inspires you guys to, if you haven't made a miniature before, inspires you to try it out. You gotta start somewhere. And you know what? It's okay if it's not perfect. It's about learning and experimenting, and you can always try again. But I think for now this is good. That's it for the vlog today, guys. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Arthur, say bye. Bye, everybody. No, that's not for you. Bye, everybody. See you next time.